Hello! I have 2 days left until I get on a plane and fly to England and spend Christmas with my family in England, and then I fly back home and then I do lots of laundry and then I get on a train and I drive off into the countryside in Germany to spend New Year's Eve there, and I'm hoping to fill this time with reading. Obviously I also have to talk to people, and I also want to. I'm seeing lots of people that I see very rarely and I'm excited for that, but I'm also 7 books off from reaching my Goodreads goal this year, and I'd like to give it the best shot I have, even though I realise I'm probably not going to reach it. So anyway, I thought I'd show you the 9 books that I collected on the Amazon that I'm going to take with me on my Kindle because it is oh so convenient, even though I don't love reading on my Kindle. And I've sorted the 9 books into sort of 3 loose categories, and maybe you can give me a shout and tell me which one to read and which one to ignore. So yeah, the first category is books that cost me 0 cent. These are 3 classics that, because they were published oh so long ago, we get for free on Amazon. Look at that. So the very first is a bit of an embarrassing one. It's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So yeah, you get the real black and white deal here on my Kindle. I've never read Pride and Prejudice. I'm not going to further embarrass myself by trying to come up with a plot for it. I've seen like movie adaptations. My mum loves it, and I thought for 0 cent, you know, I'm not going to be pained if I end up disliking it. I did sort of read the first page just to try and see whether it would be too stuffy and too old-fashioned for me to get into, and I don't think so. So I'll give it a shot. And I guess Pride and Prejudice is one of these books that you should have read, even though I hate putting those stresses on people. The second 0 cent book that was published just 5 years later is very different in style though, and that is Frankenstein. Oh, sorry for the glare. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now this again is one of those stories that you just know, but I haven't read. So I hope to do that, maybe in the next week. I don't really know what to expect. Apparently it was the result of a sort of writing competition that Mary Shelley had with her sort of other author friends to write a horror story. So I think that's kind of sweet. And yeah, $0. And the third of my classics for no money, not little money, no money, is A Tramp Abroad by Mark Twain, which doesn't come with a nice cover, which I guess is a downside to these sort of Amazon published freebies. This is, I think, sort of like a travel memoir, but it's supposed to be quite humorous as well. Again, I feel like I might just be filling a gap in my reading knowledge by reading this, and if it is indeed quite funny, then that might also just be a nice way to break up the sort of more difficult to read books. I just tend to find these sort of before 1900 published books to just be a bit more difficult to get along. I'll just be honest. That's the way it is. And then the next 3 books are in the easy reads category. So all of these 3 books, for very different reasons, I'm expecting to just help me along in my goal of still reading as many books as possible until the end of 2017. Plus, I find that when you're traveling, sometimes it can be difficult to really focus on the book. So if I end up having a crying baby in the plane, one of these books will still be easy enough to read, even though I can't concentrate on that wholeheartedly, if you see what I mean. The first one, and this title just cracks me up, is called Lost Dogs and Lonely Hearts by Lucy Dillon. And I'm expecting this book to be exactly what you expect this book to be. This is about a woman, I think, called Rachel, who, no, I'm pretty sure she's a woman, main protagonist, female, called Rachel, whose aunt, after dying, I'm just reminded of the last chick flick I read, it's just so similar, her aunt dies and leaves her home, but also a dog kennel. And Rachel's life has kind of been horrible, like just down in the pits. And so she accepts, and from the blurb, you expect all these dog stories to bring people together and make you feel all warm inside. I'm a dog lover. I like love stories and dogs. That's just going to be a good time. Then I also got The One by John Mars, which has all the typical catchphrases on Amazon: most thrilling, psychological, thriller, suspenseful, most amazing, wah wah wah. But I thought the premise sounded pretty cool. Apparently this is set in the near future, where DNA testing has enabled us to find our perfect match, our sort of ideal partner. And even though you meet your perfect match, they might have their secrets. So yeah, I'm expecting this to be quite a box standard psychological thriller with a slight futuristic spin, which sounds cool. And then the third book I'm expecting to be a quick read. I got on recommendation by a friend. This is The Rats by James Herbert, and the first in a trilogy. And this is horror, I'm expecting, where man faces off against giant rats. And that just sounds ridiculous, but possibly also like really engaging in a sort of guilty pleasure read way. And then the final 3 books I got were books that I wanted. So I somewhat ignored the price limit I was giving myself on the Kindle books and just went for 3 books that I wanted. The first is Strange to Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This I was, in fact, I come across so stingy. I'm not really. I was holding off on reading this one because it was still quite highly priced on Amazon, and this is the first in a new trilogy by Laini Taylor, who also wrote the Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy. This one I know very little about, except for that we have a male protagonist, and he... yeah, I really don't know. I think there's like dream worlds. Of course, it's a fantasy trilogy again, and even though this has more than 500 pages, I believe, the previous trilogy of hers that I did read was a very quick, immersive read. So I wanted this. I was curious, and I hope it will be really fun. Possibly less fun, but having me really excited is Tin Man by Sarah Winman. This has been loved on BookTube, and mainly Simon from Savage Reads. I really loved this, and I value whatever he says. This is a love story, and I don't really want to know that much more about it. Although I'm expecting a sad read. People have said that they cried a lot. So maybe I won't keep that for on the plane. Although, to be honest, I always feel very anonymous on planes. So yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot. I'll bawl my eyes out and read a really good book on the plane. And then finally, in my little e-reader haul, I got Women and Power by Mary Beard. This I mentioned in one of my previous videos as a book that I still want to read this year. I think it's called A Manifesto. Yeah, A Manifesto. So this is being heralded as sort of a modern classic and feminist writing. I'm really interested in what she has to say. I am curious whether I find it too, how do I say, it's too polemic, or whether I can really appreciate it, seeing as that I also look at power in my current research, in my PhD. So but I must admit, this was also a good one to buy, because even though I had it on my wish list, this is just over 100 pages or so. So yeah, if you're looking for something that you will find intellectually stimulating, or at least I hope so, but is also not too lengthy, then maybe give this one a go. So yeah, those are the 9 books that I am taking with me in my little carry-on, and I'm hoping to read as many as possible of them. Also, just as a side note that is really irrelevant, I am quite excited about the fact that I paid €24.30 for these 9 books. I don't know why I felt the need to write this down, but together those books have around 2,780 pages, which is totally stupid. I will not read all of that. But it feels really nice to have all those pages with promising stories in this little thing. So yay, technology. I hope you're going to have a really good Christmas, whether or not you fill that time reading. And let me know which one of these I should read. I might be a bit overwhelmed. I already feel like, oh my god, and I'm not gonna lie, I have more unread books on my Kindle anyway. So I might be a bit overwhelmed by all the possibilities, but it's also really exciting. So yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.